Hello YouTube, Daddy Fix here. Thought I would show you our mud tile job demo in this bathroom remodel. First, let me give you a little bit of a tour. This is a 1960 vintage bathroom, 4-inch tile all the way around. And what we decided to do here is we're going to keep the tile from here around the tub. It's in pretty good shape. We're going to have that reglazed. The rest of it we want to modernize, and we're going to want beadboard. We're going to put a modern pencil tile accent with that. So I thought I'd do a video on the lessons learned on how to demo mud job tile without destroying your bathroom, without destroying your house. And we've learned a few lessons along the way that I think might help you out. It's hard enough to demo a mud job tile work. It's even harder if you're trying to retain some of it and build up to it with something else. So first, let me go over safety. If you're going to do this demo, you need a Tyvek suit, head to toe protection. You need a face shield, Harbor Freight, not expensive. And you need a NIOSH approved dust mask like this 3M Pro Dust Mask you can get from Big Orange. Highly recommend these because this particular type doesn't fog up your glasses when you're wearing it. So safety first. So what we did here, we have actually demoed the mud job tile off of here and managed to keep the ceramic plaster job up above here without wrecking it. It's really tough to do that. And we'll be putting our beadboard in with a drywall backer and butting up to the tile work here. So our beadboard will die into this joint right here. Now you might say, oh, why don't you just put the beadboard right over top of the existing tile? You can do that if you want to. We didn't want to go that way for reasons I won't get into, but this is how you go about demoing this stuff. So first, a little explanation of what mud job tile is. You can see in here, the first thing they put up is on top of the studs is a very heavy metal lath, and that's a piece of it right there. Pretty heavy duty stuff. On top of that, they came up with about 1 inch of concrete, and this stuff is hard. And then on the top of the concrete, you got thin set, and then your tile. Up here, you'll see where the tile joins the plaster. The plaster has 3 layers. The first layer is about a 3/8 inch piece of gypsum material, basically 3/8 inch drywall. On top of that is a hand applied mud layer, and then the finished layer is a very, very hard ceramic plaster. So overall, this will be around 3/4 to 7/8 of an inch. And you'll see that your tile overlaps this. And that's important to know when you want to get a clean demo job. So first, a few things that you don't want to do when you're doing this demo. You don't want to go hammering on your tile and breaking it out. That will get it down for sure, but the other thing that it's going to do is going to vibrate the heck out of your walls, and we can tell you from experience, you will get cracks elsewhere in your plaster. So don't go that way. I'm going to describe to you how we managed to do this, and we found this to be pretty successful, and what tools you need to do it. So let me just describe what we did. And I will say, by the way, this is a very dusty job. Recommend, in addition to the safety gear, put a fan up in the window. If you have a bathroom window, put that fan on, exhausting the dust out, because it's going to be clouds of dust with this method. So here's what I did that worked so well. we needed to get the clean line here. Pretty challenging with the thickness of this to get a clean line to die into. So here's how I did it. The first thing I used is a 4.5 inch angled grinder. This is a Drill Master. Highly recommend it from Harbor Freight. You can pick these up on sale for about 10 bucks. Absolute bargain. In the grinder, I've installed an Avanti Pro segmented diamond blade. They're currently around $15, $16 from Big Orange, and has a very thin kerf. So this is the combination I use to do the initial cut. What you do is get this with the guard on it, don't leave the guard off, and you're going to very carefully run that right down the grout line where you're trying to separate the tile. And I'm sorry I can't show you this in action, it's just too much dust when you're doing it. You don't have to cut too deep, and you can see when you're cutting this, the depth of the blade, you can't get any deeper than that with this 4.5 inch. But that's plenty. You really just need to get through the tile in the thin set with this. The reason I like the 4.5 inch for doing this is you have really good control, really amazing control, and you can come right on down the grout line of your tile and completely preserve this tile over here all the way from top down to bottom. So that's the first thing you're going to do. The second thing you want to do is you want to separate the tile here from the plaster above. And to do that, I found the best way. This is the big daddy of the one I just showed you, also from Harbor Freight. This is a Chicago Electric. It's a 7-inch grinder, and you can pick these up for around $44, and then use your 20% off coupon on top of that. In this machine, just to try one out, I haven't used it before, is what's called a diamond turbo blade. A little bit different style, but the difference is this blade's a little bit thicker in the kerf, and it's also a little bit more aggressive, is what I found. But either blade is going to work and do the job for you. Yes, I do not have the guard on here right now. When you're operating this tool, you want to have the guard on it. So with this step, what you do is you're going to start as close as you can here. You don't want to get on this tile, so start back here a little bit, and you're going to run this into the wall until you hit a stud, and just come straight across this joint between your plaster and your tile work, like that, running that saw. You'll be able to, now you see, this is a standard 4-inch stud wall, so you can't cut too deep. So just run it on across. When you get to a stud, you'll feel it push your blade back. This diamond is not really going to hurt your stud, so don't worry about that. And just come all the way across and get into the corner as best you can. Over here, there are going to be some limits to how far you can get, into the corner, but you can get pretty close. Just be very careful you don't slip and ruin that piece of tile there. Once you make that cut, come back over here and cut just on the bad side. I'll turn the blade this way. Just on the bad side of what you want to discard, and come on down. You won't have quite as much control with this, so don't get it right over on your tile. Be back just a little bit, but you want to cut this all the way in until you feel that stud, and just roll it down the stud like that. And look what you're doing. You're going to get a nice clean cut of all of that concrete behind there, and you're going to get the metal lath that's going to get cut too. Everything is going to get cut. As I said before, don't worry, it's not really going to hurt your wood. And come all the way down to the floor. Now here, I really worried about hurting this piece of tile at the bottom. When you get down here, you cannot cut all the way to the corner unless you're going to go into the floor. Now this floor we're going to replace. We're going to put tile on top of what's already here. So I didn't mind cutting the floor, and I just went right on down into the floor until I was sure that I had a nice cut all the way to the bottom. The third cut you want to make is come horizontal about 5 inches or so below your top cut here, just all the way across. And then you're done with your Dymo saw cuts. When you get that done, now it's time to start removing tile. Chisel and a 2 or 3 pound hammer are the tools I like to use. Again, this is a little Harbor Freight chisel, works just fine, not expensive. But what you want to do is start by getting your mud cap tiles off, put your chisel up top and whack it from top to bottom. That's a lesson learned. Whenever you're hammering on this stuff, always hit down. Don't ever hit into the wall or you're going to risk cracking your plaster over on the other side. But if you hit down on these mud caps, you will knock them loose, and that'll be a good starting point for you. Once you get that going, you can get on your tiles and start knocking them loose until you can actually get that 5-inch piece off the wall. Once you get that 5-inch piece off, you're good to go, because you can actually remove whole big sections after that. Now what I did was I made another horizontal cut about halfway down the wall, and look at this whole bottom piece came off as one. Once I cut horizontally across there, I was able to get behind it with a pry bar, get your pry bar on the stud, between the stud and the metal, and you will be able to gingerly pull this whole thing off. A lot less mess than breaking all this concrete and putting the tile on the floor. It takes a little bit of practice. The hardest part is getting this first 5-inch piece out. And you'll have to do some chiseling and breaking until you do break out one piece of tile or one piece of concrete, and you can get your pry bar in there to start pulling that metal off the wall. But work slowly and it'll come right off. So hope that's been a help. This is a good project, and we've done quite a bit. We've done a whole nother bathroom of removing this stuff, different techniques, and this one I'm describing to you is so much neater, less messy, and easier on the house and the plaster overall than other ways that we've tried. So hope that helps you. If you have a 1950, 1960 or earlier vintage mud job tile installation where you want to either get rid of it or get rid of part of it and replace other part, like with beadboard or something like we're doing. All right, YouTube, that's it for now, and thanks for watching.